Welcome to the KBL walk and talk. So this week I thought I'd bring you another video because I've done one on Monday. So just basically went out Monday and did one. And I thought today, as the weather's not too bad, it's not brilliant, but it's better than it has been. And tomorrow's supposed to be really windy, so I thought I'd better get it done today. So yeah, it's another day in the matrix, in the shit show of present day Britain and the world. And yeah, they're still throwing everything at us, and all the craziness is still here. And I've not even looked deep into the Liverpool event. There's a lot of red flags, and there's a lot of things that don't seem right and out of place, but yeah, it takes a long time to look into these things, and I don't want to waste my time with it because it's it is important, and it is bad that these people got injured. I'm glad nobody died, so that's the main thing. And I really like the Scousers, and they're great people, and I don't believe he is a Scouser. I think there's more to it. They don't do stuff like that. They don't attack each other at football matches. They're not like other English cities where they hate each other and they attack each other and they have fights together. Not Liverpool and Everton. But yeah, there's a lot of things that are iffy about it. But there you go. You don't know from one day to the next what they're going to throw at us. Don't know what they're planning. Don't know what they're up to. Is it an agenda? Is it to bring in more police powers, terror laws, or new terror laws? Because we always have these offences, and then there's new legislation and other things going on.
Yeah, but new pass.
So yeah, look at the river. It's nice and clear. Don't see that too often in England. Well, anyway, well, part of Scotland outside the cities. These lovely sheep. Hey, don't run away. That's the life, isn't it? Relax. Don't worry about all the crap. No politics, no depressing news. Just sit there and eat some grass, or stand there and eat some grass. Yeah, I want to get onto basically touching on what I was saying in the other video about stop supporting the systems. We need to stop also being manipulated by the state, because it's just too much of it. You know, they come out with the propaganda and that side's bad and they're always in the right, and it's just complete nonsense. It's like, how can you claim Russia are bad, but then how many countries have you been involved in bombing? And even World War One and World War Two, it's like Churchill got us involved, got Britain involved in both world wars, even though the First World War was between Austria and Serbia, nothing to do with us. And then World War Two, their bomber command set up 3 years before the war even started. And then how many people died for it? And now they're talking about conscription. Who wants to fight for his country? For a start, yeah, you look at what they do. Yeah, look what they do to people. So you've got serving soldiers, or soldiers who have served, and what happens to them? They go to army. They join the army, go to Iraq or Afghanistan. They come back. They're mentally unstable, they have a massive breakdown, they end up living on the street, and then what does the government do? It just leaves them on the street. It doesn't give a shit about them. And sometimes they get their legs blown off, their arms blown off, and their life is destroyed or ruined, or both the same thing, I don't know. But it's just like, why do people keep thinking the government's your friend? It's not. They've just done a trade deal with India, where Indian workers who come here won't have to pay national insurance for 3 years, but the British workers will still have to pay it. How can you treat outsiders better than people who are born here and living here? It's like, you got to wake up. The government doesn't care about you. You know, and always a belief in the authority. It's only there because people allow it to be there. You know, like it says, Act of Parliament. They're acting. It's all acts of legislation. You know, it's only because people consent to it and allow it to happen is why it does happen and why it's still there. And this voting, where is it getting anyone? Yeah, and the Labour government keeps saying there's a cost of living crisis, and you got all these people in government saying crap like that, and they're the ones who bloody caused it. Because when they put sanctions on Russia, it's not really sanctions on Russia, is it? It's sanctions on you and me. Because when you're paying more for electric and gas because you're importing it from other countries, when you had good trade deals and you had good deals on energy anyway, they chose to rip that up and basically make us pay extra in energy, and then that caused inflation, and inflation caused all your shopping to go up, and the government allowed it to happen, and the government are responsible for it, and they got to stop with this bullshit. It's Brexit. It's nothing to do with Brexit. It's like the main cause of it is like in COVID times when I know there's a scamdemic, but it all started then when they were spending shitloads of money. Didn't nobody think they got to pay back the furlough, what they borrowed? Like, they borrowed all this money from the Bank of England, and they spent it on these Nightingale hospitals where they didn't have, some of them, they didn't have any patients in there. It's just bloody just to scare people, but they still spent millions. They had one in London, and they didn't even use it. They had one in Bristol. I think they only had a couple of patients in there, and they bought all these new laptops, all these beds, all this furniture, and then what happens to it after? It's just a joke, and people don't get it. They just do not get it, why these things are happening, why their life's getting worse. They will not wake up. They still think the government cares about them. It's like, it doesn't matter blue or red. They're both screwing you. The system screws you. You know, you got to stop being naive and wake up to what's going on. You know, it's got nothing to do with Brexit. And with Brexit, they purposely made that not work. They delayed it for as long as they could. Both parties. They all messed around. They lied to us time and time again. Even Reform and this Brexit party, you know, those are con. Just basically getting you to go to that side, but they know what the outcome's going to be. They're still going to follow all the agendas. I bet you this Reform in Lincolnshire, I bet you the massive solar farm what's going to be built here, I bet you it doesn't get cancelled. I bet you it still gets built. And you've got these policies, what they're supposed to be implementing. It's like, you got Richard Tice in Boston. What has he actually done? Most people say he's never there. You know, what were they actually going to achieve? I think it's just another way to catch your attention, and basically, if you can't get you one of the other parties, then they get you with that party, because it's still the same corrupt system. When are people going to get it? Although I keep repeating myself and saying the same stuff, but it's like, how many times? And are people going to wait another 4 years, 5 years, and then vote again and get the same outcome or slightly better, but you're still going to get screwed? It's like Trump in America, isn't it? It's like, he was saying he's going to clear the debt. The debt is nearly 37 trillion now. And you say about, what people say about sanctions on Russia, but their debt is 475 billion, but America is 37 trillion. That's like 17 times more. The UK is 4 trillion in debt. It's like 8 times more than Russia. Is there loads of crime in Russian cities? No. Have we got tents everywhere and rubbish everywhere like the UK? No. But we always told this lie that we're on the right side of history and we do everything correctly. And this ain't like I'm pro-Russia or anything. It's just I'm just stating facts. Because you have to have an open mind. If you don't have an open mind, then what's the point? You're just going to have your opinion formed by others. Because that's what the media does. That's why they say on TV. That's why they call them programs, because they're programming people. That's what it's all about. Hiya. Yeah, like I said before, they're channeling their message and they're broadcasting. It's all magic. And everybody gets why the TVs are so cheap. It's because they want you to have one, because it's their main tool, their main mechanism of control, isn't it? By indoctrination and manipulation, propaganda. Before that was the radio. But yeah, it's just mad that people don't wake up to what's going on. It's like even the COVID stuff, it was so obvious. They had a PCR test that wasn't even reliable. It's like half the time it's telling you you've got it when you haven't. And how can you have an illness with no symptoms? It's just beyond belief. And like all this stuff they're doing to people, and people still want to vote for him, and they still say, oh, Boris Johnson, he's a great guy, yeah, he's great, yeah. Just sold us down the river, same as all the other MPs. But yeah, you carry on thinking he's a great guy, and you think all the others are great because they want, I'm a celebrity twat, get me out of here. You know, it gets beyond a joke. And like, you're paying for the nose for your shopping every week now. And I go to the supermarket, it's like one day I buy some water, it's like $3.75, the next week it's $3.80. It's like only 5p, but it's like, it adds up. And you imagine how many things you buy, that's probably going up a few quid every week or every month at least. So what is there to celebrate? What is there to like to be satisfied with? And I don't get why people are not more angry and upset by what's going on. It's like with the liberals, the libtards. It's like, you're complaining that you can't afford a house. Why do you think that is? What do you think? If more people live here, then obviously there's going to be less houses. So you've got to stop being naive and stop living in your utopia libtard brain and start waking up to reality. You know, it's like if you had a house, you had too many people in your house, it wouldn't be very comfortable, would it? And it'd be like it'd make your quality of life go downhill. It's the same with this country, isn't it? There's too many people here. That means you can't get a GP appointment, you can't see a doctor, you can't get an NHS appointment, you can't find somewhere to rent. And in Ireland, the housing situation is so bad, there's people queuing overnight just to look at a property. It's like, this is what it's come to. Oh yeah, and another thing, the government in the UK want to put their hands into your pension now to borrow money off your pension, which means they could just take out your pension and you never get it back. Can't trust these crooks. That's like, everybody needs to start making their own plans and stop following their advice. It's like they tell you, don't go to this country, don't go to that country. I mean, it's probably perfectly safe to go there. And don't listen to their money advice, because they say, oh, Bitcoin, yeah, Bitcoin, see? They say like, Bitcoin's a scam and it's money laundering. It's like, they're just talking shit. What do you think cash is? It's like, yeah, cash, you don't know where it's come from, you don't know who had it before, and how was it generated, like in large amounts. Oh yeah, that's another thing I want to get onto, money laundering. So you go into a bank and you want to send your grandmother or your wife, husband or whatever, like you want to send them £10 or £20. They say, oh, we can't do it because of money laundering regulations. But then HSBC quite happily handle the Colombian cartel's money. Yeah, and that was exposed in the Panama Papers. But then you go to every high street, every town, city, there's always Turkish barbershops. You know, and that's the thing, are people naive? I know a lot of people know about them, but there's still people who think they're legitimate businesses. And yeah, you might get one or two, which are, but a vast amount of them are just there to clean money. And God knows where that money comes from. It could be drugs, it could be human trafficking, it could be terrorism. And then you also got nail salons doing the same thing, which are mostly Vietnamese. I mean, there's not as many of them. They don't take the piss like the Turkish barbershops, and they're not as blatant as them, but there's still a few. And then you got the American candy stores. And you know what the biggest money laundering operation is? NASA. You know, they get all this money chucked into NASA for spaceships what don't go into space. Well, I don't know actually. They might go into space, but they don't land on the moon. They never have landed on the moon. I mean, you look at the footage. Bloody flag was blowing. And then you got his Jeep and spacecraft covered in kitchen foil. I mean, it's so fake. And then they lost the footage. And then they lost the technology. It's like, how can you lose the technology? You're supposed to get more advanced as you go along. And all that money being pumped into NASA. And NASA can come out and say, no, we lost the technology, so it's not possible to land on the moon. But Elon Musk and SpaceX, he can get us to the moon. And what was it? Blue Orbit, the Amazon spacecraft. That was so fake. It was CGI, and then also the Indian, what's it? The Indian rocket launch. The Indian version of NASA. Oh, I mean, that is even faker, wasn't it? It's like they're just like taking a piss now, and it's like so fake. But yeah, that's the biggest money laundering operation is NASA. And like all these roadworks, because I heard someone say it in a video, on another video the other day. Not Today Satan. He's a good guy. If you see him on YouTube, basically he was going around Sheffield and he talks like really personal stuff. He's really honest. I really like his style, and I mean he's got a lot of great things to say, and he doesn't beat around the bushes. He just comes out with it. But yeah, I respect him, and yeah, I love watching his videos. But yeah, he was just saying about all the roadworks, which I've thought for years as well. Like it's all basically money laundering, because it's like they have the roadworks there, and then nothing's happening for like a week, 2 weeks, and it always takes so long to get them done. So I think that's a tactic to basically try and make it look like it costs more money when it actually didn't. So money's being filtered out to elsewhere. And the same with a lot of projects, they're always over budget. This HS2 has gone way over budget, and always like arenas and new train stations, new airports, whatever they're doing, they always go way over budget. And how can you sign a contract with a contractor and then the contractor turn around and say, oh, my costs have gone up? You would have signed a contract, so they would be forced to basically do it under those conditions. So if you agree to, let's say it's got to be 2 million, they can't turn around and say, oh, it's cost me 2.5 million. I mean, that was a contract. They've been contracted to provide a service and they get paid a set amount. So how can the amount keep going up? Because the cost should be on them, it shouldn't be on the council. But this is the thing, they're so corrupt And they even, like, when they set up these companies, they make themselves directors. So in Bristol, they done Bristol Energy, and then people from the council made their self-directors, which the council is supposed to be a local authority, but it's actually a business. The same with a lot of things, like the police forces, they're businesses. The NHS is a business. Most of the schools are private, they're businesses. The GP surgeries, they're private, they're businesses. So the schools get paid from the government. The GP surgeries, they get paid by the government. They're not NHS, they just get paid to provide an NHS service. And people think we own these things, and we own what do you call it, we own and share in these things, but basically they're just companies and they get paid for a service. Sometimes they get paid too much, some of them. But yeah, it's just one of these things, isn't it? But as more people knew about this, maybe we could change things. And I don't even think it's so much people knew about it. I think enough people willing to do something about it. I think that's the main thing. But I would say, like I said in the last video, stop voting for a start. We need to show the system up, show it up for what it is. Stop supporting it. Stop supporting these big corporations. I mean, sometimes I use Amazon because, like, some of the books I like, they won't sell in WH Smith or they're banned elsewhere, so that's the only thing good about Amazon, I'd say. And then eBay I use because there's a lot of stuff on there I can get where I can't get elsewhere. So sometimes you have to use them, but I mean, try and avoid like places like McDonald's because it's bad for your health for a start. You don't want to put that shit fake meat. I don't even know what it is. Is it dog meat? I don't know. Because I remember I was in Ireland and I had a beef burger in Supermax. That's like the Irish version of McDonald's, and it just didn't taste like beef to me. And when they say British and Irish beef is like McDonald's, it's just a trademark. So if you look at cat food, it would say chicken flavour, beef flavour, but only 4% of the packet contains beef. So the majority of it is not beef. So it's just a lie. But yeah, I don't know, a few of you might be aware of these things, but it's just the world we live in. There's so much trickery and false advertising and propaganda, and history's wrong. That's why I say his story, because it's the story what they want you to believe in. But I look into World War II, it's like so many lies and so many things covered up. It's like Churchill bombed Germany non-stop for 3 months before Germany bombed here. And Churchill and Grey, they basically got the First World War, they had it enacted, even though most of Parliament didn't know, and they had about 1 hour's notice that we was going to war. And Churchill, he was paid off, that's why he's always trying to get us into war. First World War was this, like I said before, the overthrow of Russia. The Bolsheviks, who killed the Tsars, they were funded from New York, from Wall Street, and then Hitler was funded from Wall Street via the Schroeder account he had. And the Warburg brothers, one was working for the US government and the other one was working for the German government. Like I said before, Rockefeller supplied the petroleum, the modified petroleum, to Hitler's army. And there's so many things that are coming out, and people looked into this, but the problem is you don't hear about it or see it because it's either censored or they've deleted the footage, and you might get some numpty saying, oh, he's a conspiracy theorist, I mean, for a start, yeah, stop being a pleb. That actual term is basically to make you basically not believe anything unless it comes from the government, which is a foolish thing to believe. Why do you believe the government? People still don't get it. They still don't realise like what they do and what they've done. It's like the UK government before. They tested the gas on the underground passengers before. It's just what they like. And then we had the outbreak and loads of shit going on at the Salisbury plane because they got a big I can't remember the name of it now. Basically a lot of things go down there, but yeah, they always cause trouble, and they always bring trouble to your shores. It's like, look at Iraq and Afghanistan. We're bombing these countries. The refugees that are coming here have disdain for the people here because of what's happened. They don't care about his country, they don't care about his future, the future of his country. They just want to get their money and go. They want to get as much money out of this country, suck up as much as they can, and then they'll probably go back home after everything's gone. Same in Ireland. Like, Ireland's like innocent party here. They've got no history, no colonial history. And these libtards in Ireland who keep saying, oh, we immigrated to America and Australia, and it's like, yeah, they helped make America, and it wasn't given free food, and they wasn't given a hotel to stay in for free off the American taxpayer. And the Irish were slaves in the Caribbean before there was even any black slaves. Caribbean. But they forget to mention that in history. And who owned the majority of slave ships? Not the white man. Was it the man with black hats? Or the men with black hats? There's always this divide and conquer in it. It's always the white man's the bad man. He's the enemy. We're not the fucking enemy. This is all bloody lies by the same people playing divide and conquer. They started feminism to alienate the man from the woman, and then they invent all these things and social engineer the public. They do the LGBT movement. They keep pushing that hard because they want to break the family. They want people to think the state is their family. They also got a depopulation agenda, so if we get loads of people having sex changes and gay, then they're not going to have children, so that falls right into their plan. And diversity is just a code word for getting rid of white people. They just don't want any towns or cities to be majority white, so what they do is they keep opening all these sanctuary cities in different UK and US cities. I don't know what other countries have sanctuary cities, but there's probably more than just US and UK. And then they allow immigration from countries that have high populations. So now we're seeing in England, in the UK, we're seeing a lot of immigration from India. They've got plenty of people, and they just keep bringing them over, either in social care, so care homes, hospital workers like nurses, and then we've got like people working kebab shops. I mean, they've even like provided visas for people to work in kebab shops. They've even provided visas for people to work in Indian restaurants. They should be teaching local people. So why can't the 16-year-old from, like, I don't know, Stoke-on-Trent, why can't he be taught how to be an Indian chef, Indian food chef? Why do they have to keep importing people? And these nurses, why do they just get nurses from India? Why not get nurses from Brazil or other countries, Mexico? You know, it's just getting one group of people because they just basically want to get his country overpopulated with them, make the white people the minority, and then what they do, they'd be like, oh, let's sign up for the EU. Let's join another 10 countries to the EU, and these people would just sign up for it without giving it a thought. And then they'd be easier to manage, they'd be able to pay lower wages, lower conditions, and they'd be working more hours, because that's what they're basically doing. They've got a few agendas. Like, one, they're bringing immigrants in to replace people here. Two, they want to get rid of borders. So how do you do that? You get people who are not going to fight for that country, who have no interest in that country, get them to come here. And also, you're building a slave class, so all the companies win, and you're getting people who are just going to be obedient, just do what they're told, and they achieve all their objectives if it continues. But that's the thing, there's people on the left arguing for them and saying about illegal immigrants, and they're like saying, oh, don't deport them, don't hurt him. Like, they go around attacking cars and doing shit to buildings, and then these lefties will stick up for them. It's like they've got no idea what they're doing, and it's people like that making the problem worse. Because they have to realise, yeah, they're the sort who probably, I don't know if they stay actually, they might run off and go somewhere else, but they have to think here, the country they're allowing to develop is the country they're going to be living in. And it's alright when there's a few, but when they come the majority, and all the MPs are Pakistani or Indian or Nigerian, do you think they're going to listen to you? Do you think these people are not going to start attacking you when they're the majority? Or do you think we're going to live side by side in peace and happiness? You know, there's a lot of shit that is coming, and a lot of shit has already happened. You know, we didn't ask for this. I didn't have anything to do with the slave trade. I didn't have anything to do with these wars. I never got a vote on any of it, like, nor did you. And all these wars are just bankers' war. That's all it is. And that's why we're in this mess, because they don't teach us this at school. All they teach us is to go work. Because Rockefeller said he didn't want thinkers, he wanted workers. That's why the US school system was free, because they want to program children to go out and work. And look, this is what in the past this has been people working on the farms. So here, Ireland, France, Germany, I would say most countries in Europe, yeah, they would be working on the farms, and there'd be plenty of food. There'd be cows, sheep, chickens, and look now, hardly any animals. Some farmers are being paid not to grow food, and then in Lincolnshire you got already loads of solar panels. Even though it's not the warmest part of the country, it's probably one of the windiest parts of the country, so it might make sense with the wind farms, but then they don't make sense because they don't work all the time. But yeah, this is what we come from. Like, we could have lived, had our own plots of land, our own farms, and now look what's happened. People are working minimum wage jobs. You're working to live in your little box, let's say, like another YouTuber says, and you're living to pay a corporation, because you might be renting off a big corporation and you're just going to work to pay them, and then you're paying through the nose for your food, and you're being extorted. You're being extorted when you work, because you get 20% of your tax taken, you get national insurance taken, and then you're getting extorted at the till. Then they've got the cheek to ask you to scan your own shopping, and then they want to charge you for a plastic bag. It's just madness. And this is the thing, they've changed the system, and then when they got the wife out to work, it's like, it's just got worse. Before the man could go to work and the wife could stay at home, and their mortgage was still payable. It was still easy to pay it, and they could pay it off in 25 years or less with no problem, and the mortgage was a lot less. People bought houses in the past for 4,000 or 8,000 and 10,000, 20,000, and now like you've got both parents of the family working, and sometimes they're not just working one job, they're working 2 or 3 jobs just to pay for a house which they're being overcharged for with the mortgage. You know, we've got to reverse this. We can't live like this. We're not here just to live to work. That's what they want. It's not what I want. I don't think it's what you want. I don't have all the answers, but we need to change things. Can't carry on this shit show. Winds me up. I mean, I've changed quite a lot in the last 4 years. Like I said, I stopped paying my TV license, I stopped voting. I just see the point of voting. And then I stopped going in big businesses. I stopped using Tesco's. I don't go in Starbucks. I don't go in McDonald's anymore. I don't go in Subway. I might stop using Greggs because the son of Greggs is a paedophile. I don't really want to support businesses like that. I don't support charities because a lot of the money gets laundered and they don't actually achieve anything, like cancer research. They haven't cured any cancers. Like, I can't think of one. I've not seen anything where they have claimed they've cured one. None of us really know, but evil does exist. So you can use religion, or you can just use how people are, like gauge it that way, because there is acts of evil. You don't have to have a red horn to carry out these acts. It could just be evil anyway. They could just look like me and you, or they could be pretending to be Semites when they're not. They're Europeans. But Israel's a whole nother story. Yeah, they claimed that land, and they banned the DNA test there, I believe, because they don't want people to find out they're Ashkenazi and not Semites, because Semites are speakers of Arabic, and basically it's all the Middle East, isn't it? And I think parts of North Africa, but mostly the Middle East. So the people in Gaza are being killed. I mean, they're Semitic people, so what Israel's doing is actually anti-Semitic. But we can't talk about them, can we? They're special, they're above everybody else. Don't matter about the Christians getting murdered as well. So, and even though I don't agree with everything in Islam, I still disagree completely and think it's sick that they're killing these children, and nobody deserves to be genocided like that. And the Palestinian people, they look like good people. I'm not seeing anything bad. I've met people from around, lovely people. But you get good and bad in everything. That's one thing I will say. Like, you gotta say every religion has got its good people and bad people. Yeah, it might be more, I'd say there's probably more radicals in Islam than there is Christianity. But there's still good people as well, so. And they do have some good points as well, like the family. I'm not going to get into everything, but I just touched on that. Anyway, I don't want to make this video super long, so I might just end it here. Thank you for watching. I keep forgetting to say, please like, share, follow or subscribe. I've got no subscribers on Odyssey. I've only got a couple on YouTube and a couple on BitChute. But yeah, if you can, I mean, and share the videos, that'd be great. I want to bring you more content because I do enjoy doing this, and it's good to get my point across, and I like to listen to your point as well and everybody else's point, because we all bring something to the table, and it's like together we can make things better if we work together and we stick together. Don't matter if you're in New Zealand and you're like a day away from England, or you're in Ireland or France or Germany, and we've got a lot. We're people like us need to look out for each other. And I would like, if I had the money, I'd like to buy land, and basically if things get bad in Western countries, I'd like to invite people to come and stay. Or there's like, I don't know if that'll happen, but there's chances where we could do stuff together, help each other, because things are going to get worse. It's only a matter of time before things get really bad, and it's like it's getting unsafe for women now. There's all these illegals hanging around everywhere and pestering women. Like I said, a lot of European cities, and in Ireland there's a lot of stuff going on because they're getting immigration at higher levels in England. Because you've got to remember, England's like, well, when I say England, it is majority England, because Scotland and Wales don't get as much immigrants apart from the cities. But England's getting a majority. But just say the UK then. So UK has got nearly 70 million people. Ireland has got 5.3 million, and they're getting something like 100,000 immigrants a year. So that's a lot of people for a small country. And it's not a question of the land. Yeah, they do have like places like County Mayo where it's pretty empty, and then there's places in the north, I don't know, those counties where they're not really populated, because Dublin is like a greater Manchester in population wise, and then Galway's quite small. Cork is like a, I don't know, Southampton or Coventry, but nicer. But yeah, it's not the problem of land, it's the problem of infrastructure and having enough housing, because they don't even have enough houses as it is. It's like Dublin's over expensive, and I thought I wanted to move to Ireland, but it's so expensive, and I think if I move there, like, I'd have to forget about Dublin because I can't afford to pay the rent there, and then I don't want to get lumbered with loads of rent, because then you're just renting and then you've got no money to go out. There's part of the reason of living there would be to enjoy life, not just to rent a house or a room in. Yeah, because even like with the renting, you just end up with a room in a shared house, and it's like you're paying the same elsewhere what you would do for a flat. And even to visit, it's getting very frustrating. I looked the other day, I was just looking at Limerick and Waterford, and like, yeah, Dublin's like the most expensive place and the busiest place, yeah, on the island. And then you got Cork and Galway, they're quite popular. But Limerick, I thought it'd be easier to get a hotel room, but no. They wanted like €200, was it £200? I think it's like, no, actually more than that. It was €300 to £400 to £400 for 2 nights. It's just ridiculous. And that was like the cheapest. That wasn't the most expensive. It's just getting unbelievable, because they're, oh yeah, that's another thing I want to touch on, and I'll get to that in a sec. But these hotels are short supply because they sold out. They sold out to the government, these iPass centres they call them, and they're just letting the illegals stay there, and then Irish people and other people from abroad can't stay there, and then they have to pay for the nose for a room. It's just crazy, and it cannot continue. And I want to say to everyone, I don't know about other countries, but I think here in Ireland we need to share every company what's doing this, share all the names of the landlords what are doing this, name and shame them. Don't use any of their hotels, don't make any bookings. So if you know Holiday Express is housing refugees, don't use them no more. Don't use a Mercure hotel, because I remember in Bristol there are 2 hotels and they kicked out all the staff that was working there in one branch, in one what do you call it, one hotel. And then there's loads of bookings and people had weddings booked, their party for the wedding, and then they cancelled it. And the Home Office here buying, getting all these contracts. What was it? Serco as well. They've got all these contracts to house illegal immigrants. They shouldn't even be here. They're just abusing the system because they just come in here to get what they can and drain the country. They're not contributing. How can they integrate when there's so many of them? And then when they're allowed to walk around, what businesses are they going to go in? They're just going to go in businesses for people like them. They're not going to support the local businesses, are they? So yeah, boycott all these places, make a list, name and shame all the landlords who are, yeah, because also some of these landlords, they're renting out their properties as well, exclusively for these illegal migrants. So they're screwing the British people, the Irish people, and they're probably doing this in Germany. Well, I know they're doing it at hotels in Germany, and I'm not sure about France, but a lot of countries are doing it. It's got to stop, and I'm fed up. I think we should buy our own hotels and just let only people like us who are going to, and people who want to go on holiday, use them, not sell out to the government, because they're just taking the piss out of us and they're replacing us. And it's got to stop. We've got to stop putting up with this. We need to change this. We need to change the future. Because we're getting at a turning point. If something doesn't happen soon, it's going to be too late. And then these countries, these European nations, good people and proud people will not be no more. We'll just be a memory. Or let's move to Argentina and start a town there. Or well, why should we give up what we've got? I feel like sort of in between, because I feel like I want to get out of the UK. I feel like Ireland, I want to live in Ireland as well, and it's like feeling like there's not going to be nothing there soon. And I don't want this. I wanted to go to Paris when it was safe and when it was nice, romantic, you know, and there used to be these beautiful women there, and now like, it's just turned into a dump. It's like London used to be a great city, if I've heard from. And like in Ireland, there's so many nice towns and people, and I love the Irish pub. But these people move in, all these pubs are going to shut because they don't drink, and then they're just going to wreck the place. And you know, another thing, we've got these food deserts now, where basically these shops are shut in, these food outlets and supermarkets are shut in because they keep getting robbed all the time. And these people are really dumb. They're really shit for brains. The thing is, if you don't have nowhere to buy food, how are you going to feed yourself? They're not going to travel 20 miles out, are they, to get food? And then they start going Mad Max then. But yeah, I've said a lot in this video. There's a lot to take in. But like, even though I'm really tired, it's just like today I felt like I've got to say these things and get it out. Hopefully it's been useful to you, and hopefully you like what I'm saying and you agree with me, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. You take care, and yeah, let's change things. Let's stop giving our energy to these companies, these parasites. Okay, that's it, I'm going now. Thank you, bye.